The tribe of Judah went to war against the Canaanites at a town called Bezek. It was there that they found Adoni-Bezek and fought against him. As is the case with many leaders of the people other than God's in the Bible, it's hard to tell if we're getting a name or a title. Adoni-Bezek would mean something like the Lord of Bezek, which certainly sounds like a title to me, but it plays like a name in the narrative. Anyway, Judah beat the army of Bezek and captured their lord and cut off his thumbs and big toes. Is that not wild? I just tried picking up my tea without the use of my thumbs. It didn't go well. I don't even know how to try walking without a toe, let alone without one of the big ones. It sounds like a relatively mild handicap, like he lost a small but important percentage of each limb. That's manageable, but really inconvenient, like all the time. What's really wild is Adoni-Bezek's reaction to it all. In his only speaking line of the whole Bible, he reacts to the loss of both thumbs and big toes by saying, 70 kings with their thumbs and big toes cut off have picked up scraps under my table. Now God has paid me back for what I did to them. In other words, I guess this is just what I deserve. An eye for an eye, and thumbs and toes for thumbs and toes. Except Adoni-Bezek didn't get what he deserved. Not even by humanity's understanding of fairness. He says 70 kings got this treatment from him. Eye for an eye means that he owes 70 pairs of thumbs and 70 pairs of toes. Even if you'll take an exchange of 1-to-1 for other fingers and toes, Adoni-Bezek still owes 206 digits after the 4 that the tribe of Judah removed. That's not even close. There's a quotation usually attributed to Gandhi that says, "An eye for an eye will make the whole world blind." And you get the point, right? That if revenge is your metric for justice, then we all lose. Now, I'm not one to disagree with Gandhi, but there's no actual evidence he ever said that, so here I go. It's wrong. I've never taken anyone else's eye or thumb or toe. I grew up with brothers who always made sure to hit me back if I ever hit them first, and we are, all of us, totally intact. Well, one of them has terrible vision, but that's genetic. Nobody did that to him. So maybe revenge works. Maybe punishment can be justice without everybody losing. Just the really bad people will go blind and spill tea on their laps. Except it's so much worse than that, isn't it? Because I've never removed anyone else's eye or thumb or toe, but I have sinned. And I have sinned against people who got me back and against people who didn't. I've sinned in ways that hurt others irreparably, and I've been sinned against and been hurt irreparably, but those two groups of people barely overlap. And even if you'll take an exchange of 1-to-1 for sins to sins, I don't have enough digits or cells in my body to pay what I owe, and neither do you, nor did Adoni-Bezek. What wild pride this is, that looks at even something like the loss of thumbs and toes and nods and says, right, this is what I deserve. I guess we're even. What reckless arrogance that thinks closure over personal guilt can come so easily. I've done harm and been harmed, so it's all even Steven. You hurt me, I hurt you, samesies. I sinned, but I said sorry. Can we just move past it? Adoni-Bezek was brought to live out his days as a thumbless, big-toeless captive in Jerusalem. Then he died, and he didn't get to say after his death, okay, now this is what I deserve. And I hope for his sake he didn't get what he deserved, what I deserve, what all of us deserve, which was once doled out there in Jerusalem when a different Adonai, a different Lord, suffered the real closure of all the personal guilt of every person who has ever and will ever live. All sin was punished in Jesus so that we could have real justice. Not what we deserve, but what we need. Forgiveness. We all have too many thumbs and toes. It's too easy for us to take for granted that our sins will never catch up with us. We don't deserve our eyes, but we get to keep them. And Jesus has washed the guilt off of them, off our hands and feet, off of us, in a shower of blood. We are alive to say, I know this is not what I deserve, because we will be alive for an eternity of celebrating that what we deserve fell to him so that we could be his. It's too easy. It's not fair. Not even by humanity's understanding of fairness. Not even close. But it is true. You and I are dust and breath, loved by God, bought by Jesus. This podcast is written and produced by me, Ethan Cherney, a pastor at Bethel Lutheran Church in Menasha, Wisconsin, member of the Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod. Outro music arranged and performed by Mr. Peter Shawy, who is like the best of the Rams. Keep in touch. Reach out to us on Twitter or Facebook at Dust and Breath Pod, or send an email to dustandbreathpod@gmail.com. Or you could write us a review, recommend a episode to somebody else. That's the only way other people find out about the show. Now go, do what God called you to do, be who God made you to be, see what God can do with dust and breath and faith in Jesus, his Son.